Hello and welcome to Tales from the Unknown. My name is Zach and I am currently on a quest to find the greatest tabletop monsters. And the creature that I bring to you today is a creature that is truly bizarre. Its name alone is going to have you asking the question, what? A creature that is truly just a fun guy. Today we are talking about the Wronguncle of Dolmenwood, so let's get into it. Stumpy humanoid toadstools 5 feet tall with white bodies and speckled red caps. They grow on ley-infused corpses, inheriting the voices, habits, and garbled memories of the deceased person. They are creatures who are merry, inane, and even befuddled. I mean, I feel like the befuddled is a little given there. They are also known to repeat the favored phrases of the creature or the humanoid that they grew upon. When you run into a Wronguncle, they may be sporting a squirrel as a memory of a hat that no longer exists, or they may even be wearing a smile that turns into a terrifying grimace without them even noticing. This is a truly bizarre creature. Along with that, every Wronguncle that is created is on a personal quest, a quest to return home. Not their home, but the home of the person that they grew upon. And that's really their main motivator, is that they need to get home, which is pretty terrifying if you are like a loved one of this person and you're expecting them to return home, and then instead a 5 foot tall mushroom guy appears speaking in their voice with their memories. And that's not even the most horrifying thing about the Wronguncle, but to talk about that, we need to talk about the mechanics. So let's do that. Okay, so mechanics-wise, this creature has a couple things going on with it. First of all, it is turnable, which means because it did grow on a corpse, that it is like in this weird realm between fungus and undead, so you can, use turn undead. After that, if you damage a Wronguncle, it actually releases these spores that is going to give you amnesia for up to 2d6 days, which, is already like, whoa, that's kind of intense, but it gets even more intense when I bring up some of its later mechanics. After that is its yearning for home. We kind of talked about this already. When a Wronguncle is created, it wants to return home to its loved ones. It wants to return home to, the corpse's loved ones, I should say, not the Wronguncle's loved ones. Actually, that's like a philosophical question, I guess. If the Wronguncle thinks they're that person, it's still their loved ones, I guess. But I do want to note here that it does say that it does pick up basic traveling gear and seeks companionship of other travelers along the way on its journey home, which, is great. You can have the Wronguncle be a part of your party, which then leads to the actual thing that makes this creature so terrifying, which I'm just going to read directly from this monster page, which is returning home. If a Wronguncle finds its way back home, it is compelled to murder its former loved ones, mentors, friends, or most hated enemies. This differs per individual. This last deed accomplished, the toadstool explodes in a cloud of spores that drift along on the winds until they settle on a new host. So yeah, the Wronguncle is created. It wants to go home. It thinks it's this person that it grew upon, and then when it gets home, it goes into a murderous rage and tries to kill all of its quote-unquote loved ones or rivals or mentors. This is a creature that you could make a horror film out of, and it is a creature that is so good. It's so great. We're going to talk about that in the next section, but the Wronguncle's personal quest is what makes this so great, and like I said, we're going to talk about that in a little bit later, but I just, it's so good. So that is its mechanics. Pretty simple, but also so much potential. So with that being said, let's get into the final part of this video and talk about what makes the Wronguncle so great. So what makes the Wronguncle a truly great monster? And I think the answer is a very simple one. It's its journey, it's its quest. It is a very active monster. And when I say it's an active monster, I mean that it is always going to have agency to be doing something. And on that note, its journey, its goal is interesting from beginning to end. You can insert this creature at any time in its quest into your game, and your players are going to have an interesting and exciting encounter. And I'll give you examples. Let's say the party is first there when, you know, this Wronguncle is being born from that corpse. That's weird. That's interesting. How is your party going to react to this new found toadstool creature that is speaking in a language that they can understand? And maybe they even knew that corpse that this creature grew upon. And what does that mean? Are they going to attack it? Are they going to try to understand its purpose? And now let's talk about what happens if your party runs into a Wronguncle in the middle of its journey. It is probably gathered adventuring gear now. It is looking for companionship. It can just like straight up become a friend and ally of your party, which then what does that mean? What does that look like if they have this toadstool creature now like joining them on a quest? What type of bonds will be created? And then there's the end of the journey, and then what happens after the end of the journey? The end of the journey, this toadstool is murderous. Can your party stop them? What does that mean when a possible ally turns murderous just like that because it is a weird fungus creature in Dolmenwood? Or what happens after the Wronguncle's journey? It explodes into spores, it gives people amnesia. It can become a murder mystery. You know, your party goes into town, there's been some people murdered, but no one knows why. It becomes this like haunting folktale murder mystery in which the party has to try to figure out if they can find the information on what a Wronguncle is and maybe stop it from, you know, finding a new host. And that's truly what makes the Wronguncle of Dolmenwood such a great creature. You can include it in your game at any point on its journey, and it is going to lead to interesting things happening in your game. It's going to lead your players to make interesting choices. And yeah, that is the Wronguncle of Dolmenwood. I said this last video, even if you are not planning on running a game in Dolmenwood, which you should, it's a super cool setting and system, this book is filled with so many great folktale and weird creatures that you can include it in any really fantasy game you are running. So go check that out. Along with that, I've been using art from this book. I'm guessing throughout this video, all the artist's credit will be down below in the description, so go check that out. The art in this book, especially for the Wronguncle, is fantastic. And yeah, that is it for the Wronguncle of Dolmenwood. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any comments or anything like that, please let me know down below. If you have a favorite monster you want me to look at, or a favorite bestiary or tabletop system that just has really cool monsters, let me know down in the comments and I'll go check them out. I have the next book we're going to be covering already picked out. I've already started reading it. I'm super excited. I'm not ready to reveal that yet. Hopefully it's not like in my background. Hopefully I put it away. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I've been really enjoying this video series, and I will see you next week as we talk about another terrifying Dolmenwood monster. So yeah, be excellent, everyone.